Now, when you're looking to move to Dallas, and more specifically the suburbs around Dallas, where most of our out-of-towners choose to land, you're going to need to know the right information, and I'm gonna share that with you here today. I'm gonna take you on the map tour, right? We're gonna show you each and every area, and then give you a breakdown with our crispy drone shots of what these areas actually look like. So if you're thinking about making a move to the DFW, this is the video that really helps you narrow in on your search. All right, guys, so we're gonna start today's tour over here in Forney, Texas, right? So Forney's going to be to the east side of Dallas, right? So it's going to be about, 20 to 30 minutes east of Dallas. Again, a smaller suburb that is really gaining a lot of traction because it's growing so fast and rapidly. I think it's like currently maybe 60,000 people that live there. But a lot of new construction is happening out here. A lot of new development is going on in this area. And it's a town that a lot of people are really flocking to because of the affordability and just the proximity to Dallas as well. So Forney to downtown Dallas, guys, 26 minutes. Now, if you move out here to Dallas and people ask you where you're thinking about going to, and you say Forney, they say, wow, that's so far. Wow, okay. Wow, it's so far out there. Numbers don't lie. 26 minutes to Dallas. Now, you have a little bit of traffic, like especially during rush hour in the mornings. If you were coming back to Forney right now, you're probably running into a little bit of traffic. That commute time will be a little bit more. But coming into Dallas, guys, is less than 30 minutes. And you can have the affordability that is going on out there in Forney, right? So now let's see how far Forney is from DFW International. So if you need to go to the airport, catch a flight, you're going to Jamaica, you're going to Cancun, you're going to Tulum, it will take you about an hour to get to the DFW International Airport, right? This is gonna be the big airport where it has all the different flights and airlines. I'm gonna take you to the Dallas Love Field. That's gonna be our secondary airport that's a little bit closer, but you're looking at about an hour going that way, coming through downtown Dallas and up, or through downtown Dallas to 183 here. That's gonna put you over here at DFW International as well. Again, you'll have a little bit of traffic in this zone because this is where all the highways are bypassing and coming. A lot of people are moving around the Metroplex that way. You can do 635. A lot of traffic is gonna be happening on this area because there's a lot of construction going on. They're actually widening this highway all the way down. And so this is gonna be a better flowing type of highway in the future. But again, if you're looking to get the DFW from Forney, that's how long it's gonna take. So now let's see what Dallas Love Field looks like. So now as we go to Dallas Love Field, so this is where Southwest Airlines flies out of mainly. Again, we're talking 41 minutes because once you get in here, you see this traffic, right? So it's traffic down in there, traffic up in here, a lot of traffic to get over there. So again, 41 minutes without traffic, you can probably get that down to like 30, 35. Just coming in downtown Dallas. But again, once you get to downtown, this is like 26 minutes, and then you can get to Dallas Love Field going north. A lot of traffic coming in these intersections, but roughly 30 minutes, right? So now if you're trying to go watch the Cowboys play, it's gonna be AT&T Stadium. That's gonna be about an hour drive from Forney, where the Cowboys, Rangers, you wanna go check out those games. Again, you can come Highway 20 down here at the bottom. This will bring you over there as well. But again, you're looking at about a 50-minute commute. So Forney is going to be located in Kaufman County, and it's like I said, it's on the east side of Dallas, right? I read somewhere between like 2020 and 2023, the population grew by like 51%, which has really positioned Forney as one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. We actually just helped 2 new clients into their dream homes out there in Forney. They were looking for the open concept with those high ceilings on a single level for, a starter home. Their budget was around $450,000. They wanted the new construction. They wanted diversity. That was really big on their list as well. And they wanted an area that, could grow their families into the future. So I did show them a few areas where, they had new construction and at the price range, but by far Forney had the most bang for their buck, especially because they wanted that larger size home under $450K. You see, that's something that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration when they're looking at, some of those more popular suburbs like Plano, Frisco, and we'll probably talk about those a little bit later on in the video, but I just want you to keep all this in mind, right? The biggest difference is going to be the size and the price and how new the property is, right? You see, some of these popular areas have, some options in that price range, but they're going to be smaller, they're going to be older, and they're probably going to need some updates. And the thing about my clients, when they're coming from different areas, relocating to Texas, they're expecting that new construction that everybody sees on Instagram, right? So that's why Forney is such an attractive option, because it offers pretty much everything you might want and need outside of being one of the more bigger established areas and having every single shop and restaurant at your disposal. You see, Forney can't compete with Frisco. It's just not gonna happen, right? And honestly, it can't really compete with a lot of the suburbs around Frisco as well, because they just have access to everything that's in that area. But check this out. The Forney Economic Development Corporation project the area's population will reach 177,000 people by 2027. Now, that's a pretty ambitious outlook, but I can say I do believe that it'll hit close to 100,000 by that time frame. I think right now the population is probably like around 50 to 60,000, so that's a lot of growth in a short amount of time. I mean, the city really has been concentrated on smart quality developments to offer, ample land for various business ventures, including light industrial and retail, right? There's gonna be several major companies that have established a presence in Forney, which is really contributing, to the economic development overall. I mean, one of the big ones I can think of off the top of my head is going to be Amazon, right? They have a fulfillment center right outside of Forney across the street from where the new HEB is going. And that's a big deal out here in Texas. They also have plans for Target, Home Depot, and a bunch of new shops and restaurants in the Gateway development that is already underway, guys. Now, the median household income in this area is gonna be right around, I'd say, 90 to 100K, with the median age of the residents probably gonna be about 32 years old. Forney really has this community type of vibe to it. I've been out there to some of the football games where North Forney played South Forney. I talked to some of the residents, and we even did a video about, what they had to say on the channel, just to give you the most information about this suburb. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, out of the hundreds of clients that we've helped move here, I'm gonna say about 30 to 35% move over to Forney. And hey, if you're new to the channel, my name is Mark with the Dallas Relocation Guide, and we help people buy, sell, and relocate right here to the Dallas Metroplex. If you're thinking about making a move, we'd love to have a conversation with you and really plan out your next steps. So feel free, reach out. All of our contact info is down in the description below and pinned to the top of the chat. All right, so now we're gonna talk about an area that a lot of people don't really know about. That's gonna be Rowlett, Texas, right? This is going to be a suburb that's going to be on the northeast side of Dallas, right? So your main highway is going to be Highway 30, and then this is President George Bush Tollway that runs right through there. Rowlett is going to be another one that has, the lake towns. It has nice houses going across these lake borders and whatnot. A lot of people like to live over there because of that type of vibe. And Rowlett is also really close to Rockwall, which we're going to talk about that one in a minute. But Rockwall is going to be the city that you're going to spend most of your time in if you're trying to go shopping, for your restaurants, all that type of stuff. They have a little harbor district over here, which has a lot of stuff. We'll go over that in just a second. But again, Rockwall is probably going to be the place that you're going to the most. So now if you're leaving Rockwall trying to get to downtown Dallas, you're looking at about 40 minutes to get over here, right? Just depending on where you're at inside of Rockwall. The main highway you're going to use is probably going to be President George Bush. You hit I-30 and then smooth sailing all the way to downtown. Again, if there's traffic, expect about a 10 to 15 minute longer commute, maybe 20 minutes, just depending. There's a couple other ways you can go. This way would be 42 minutes, but I wouldn't recommend going through all the lights and stuff like that. Your quickest and most seamless route is going to be Highway 30. If you're looking to get over to the airport from Rowlett, again, I'd probably just take George Bush. This is going to be a 41-minute commute. You could go up here to come down this way as well. So anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, just depending on traffic. Usually President George Bush is a wide open highway, so that should be relatively simple. If you're coming down through 30, it's looking like an hour and 7 minutes. But again, this is because of the extra traffic coming up here off of 183. Once you get a little closer to Dallas, you have a little bit of bog down here. And then once you're in the heart of this downtown, you get a little bit of bog down there as well. All right, now going to Dallas Love Field from Rowlett, it's still 41 minutes that way, 58 minutes coming down through downtown. You have a couple of different other ways you can get there, but it gets a little bit dicey. You kind of have to wait till you know your way around Dallas pretty well before you start taking some of these back roads and getting through there. So again, your best bet's gonna be the Highway 30, coming up 35, and then you'll be at Dallas Love Field right there. All right, so getting over to AT&T Stadium, if you took George Bush, come all the way around, it's gonna take you about 48 minutes, but it's 50 miles. If you were to come down through I-30, it's only 37 miles, but it's gonna be a longer commute time because of that traffic, right? So it's a straight shot coming down from President George Bush to 30, or you can do President George Bush all the way around to 30 and go that way. And so if you wanted to get over to Fort Worth, kind of enjoy some of the laid back vibes that they have over there, you're looking at about an hour and 7 minutes just to get over there. So again, you can be inside the Metroplex and be traveling an hour. It's 61 miles to get from Rowlett to Fort Worth, right? So just understand, if you're moving to Texas, you're going to be driving. It's not really a walkable type of situation unless you're in the heart of downtown. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't spend very much time in Rowlett. and I don't think a lot of other people do as well. You know, we haven't had one client move over there, but I am familiar with it because it has a pretty good proximity to Dallas. You know, it's gonna have that access to the lake, which we do spend some time on. And one thing that is, you know, really bringing Rowlett into the forefront of the news is gonna be one of the most unique developments to hit the east side. Now, one day as I was heading up to Fate, Texas to meet, you know, with one of our builder partners, I found myself on Highway 30 heading east, right? Now, typically this is a normal ride and there's this really big bridge as you approach Lake Ray Hubbard. But on this particular day, I noticed something I had never seen before, right? There were at least 40 bulldozers on this massive piece of land that I feel like they just created out of thin air. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I typically keep my inner Karen contained, but on this day, I really had to investigate and figure out what that was. So when I got home, I did a little bit of research, and what I found, it blew my mind. Now, the area I mentioned was Rowlett's newest attraction called Sapphire Bay. Now, this is a $1 billion mixed-use development that has really brought a lot of buzz to this area. They're literally building an 166-acre mixed-use development right in the middle of the Lake Ray Hubbard. They've already completed one luxury apartment complex. They have townhomes for sale right on the lake with breathtaking water views. And get this, they just announced a brand new resort by Hyatt's Destination Hotels that will offer over 500 guest rooms, suites, and villas. I mean, you're gonna get the full service spa, multiple pools, and tropical gardens. I even heard they're also building a surf lagoon that will generate waves for surfers of all skill levels. Throw in, you get the white sandy beaches, swim up bars, and a lazy river, and then an outdoor amphitheater that can hold 3,200 people. I mean, this is gonna be bananas. Let's just say this will be a big draw to start to make Rowlett a much more visible suburb. Now look, Rowlett's population is around 68,000 people, and I won't say that there's just a ton of growth going on outside of the Sapphire Bay development. This area is really known for a family-friendly neighborhood, you know, quality schools with numerous parks and outdoors areas around, but it's not the type of place you move to if you want newer or more lively. Now, the people in Rowlett make roughly around 90 to 110K a year, with the median home price in this area being right at 400,000. You know, the median age of homes in this area is going to be about 24 years old. You know, most of these properties were built in the late 90s to early 2000s. So you're going to get those mature neighborhoods that may need some updating from the aesthetic standpoint to really bring it into the modern age. Now, Rowlett is going to be in Garland ISD, which based on niche.com is going to give you a B rating. And from a crime perspective, crimegrade.org gave Rowlett a score of a B. But from an overall perspective, if you like being on the lake, like going out on your boat, then Rowlett could be a good landing spot for you and your float. All right, so now let's talk about Rockwall, Texas. This is going to be a little bit more east of Rowlett, right? And this one is going to be an area that is really starting to see some expansion, especially down here in this green areas, right? They're probably going to end up annexing this way. But Rockwall is a really cool town, really established, lots of shops, restaurants, perfect suburban area. Like I said, you have a lot of shops and stuff. They have the Harbor District right here, which is really, really cool. They have a Gloria's over there. There's a new Vidora that's going up, which is this upscale Mexican restaurant. So date nights is probably anyone that lives in this area over here, they're probably date night in Rockwall. Again, you have the lake with all those amenities and everything that offers. You're also gonna have Sapphire Bay, which is a part of Rowlett and Rockwall, but this is gonna have like a new resort style place. They have condos, townhomes. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Again, Rockwall is a really nice area. You have some more new construction up in this area. On this side is going to be more older. Now they have building some new construction stuff out here as well if you're looking for homes. Going to be a little bit more pricey than I'd say Rowlett. Rowlett's going to be a little bit older, but again, Rockwall would be an awesome place if you're thinking about settling down. So Rockwall to Dallas is only 23 miles, right guys? But again, if you are leaving Rockwall, so when we did the map on Rowlett, you were skipping this traffic right here. Because Rowlett comes down here, but over here, it's a bridge, right? And it comes over this lake, and man, the traffic really bogs down coming over this bridge. It looks like there's an accident. So if there's an accident, double time, because I believe from Rowlett to here was like 30 something minutes, and this has already extended that by 42 minutes, just being a little bit farther. So understand you'll be taking I-30 to get to downtown Dallas. It's pretty much your only way to get there, and that's going to be the time frame for that. And as far as getting there, if there's not traffic, again, that'll probably be closer to, you know, maybe 35 minutes, so it's not crazy bad. If we're trying to get over to Love Field, right, it's going to be about 51 minutes with the traffic right now. Probably take another 10 minutes off if there's no traffic. So you kind of got to keep that in mind. Traffic with traffic times, without traffic times. So we added another 7 miles to the commute if we're trying to get to Love Field. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about catching a flight. You want to make sure you leave it on time. Give yourself enough time to be able to make it there, especially if there's going to be any type of traffic on the way. All right, so Rockwall to DFW International Airport. Probably your easiest route is going to be going George Bush. That'll give you an hour to get over there. Gonna cost you a little bit of money though, because that's the tollway. You can also come through 30 and come through downtown. This is probably gonna get bogged down, especially as we're getting closer and closer to rush hour. It's almost, I think it's like 3 o'clock here. Almost 3 o'clock here. So around 2:30ish is when things start to ramp up as far as the traffic goes, and the traffic goes all the way till I'd say 7:30ish. Around this kind of when things start to die down just a little bit, especially through the weekdays. So if you wanted to go, you could do 6:35, but again, going to be a lot of traffic here. 6:35 is usually going to take a little bit more time. I think we can click on this. Yeah, so that's going to be 57 minutes. Honestly, right now it's showing as a little better time than this way. But again, it's hit or miss, because as soon as you get on this highway, somebody might have an accident over here, lots of construction, and going through 6:35 to get to the airport could be a disaster. Like I said, your main bog downs are going to be through here, right here. As you get over on this side, this really clears up and it's smooth sailing, right? So just keep that in mind. All right, if we're leaving Rockwall to go to AT&T Stadium, watch the Cowboys play, you're looking about an hour and a minute. Again, this is traffic here, so probably could get there 45 minutes if you had smooth sailing, so it's not that far away. That's going to be your probably most efficient route. You could do this if you wanted to, but that's just taking you kind of all out the way. It would just make more sense to hit 6:35. You could possibly do this if traffic was crazy bad going into the game. Sometimes you might want to avoid this, like on game day. Usually traffic is bad going through here, so you could come south and come around that and come back on the other side. All right, so getting to Fort Worth from Rockwall, you're looking at about an hour and 30 minutes, hour 15 to 30 minutes, just depending on traffic. Again, straight shot through 30 brings you right in the heart of Fort Worth. So it's really simple as far as sometimes getting to some of these areas. It's just time frames, because it is going to be a longer commute. We're talking about 54 miles, right? So you're going to keep that in mind whenever you're, getting ready to leave for whatever, you're going to. If you're trying to go to the stockyard down here in Fort Worth, maybe meet up with some friends, go to a TCU ball game over in Fort Worth, all of that will be available. Just understand your commute. Now, we were just over there with our neighbors not too long ago. It had been a while since we had, a double day, so we took the wives over to Gloria's, which is right there on the water, right? You get the sunset in the evenings, and I had their famous Walk Me Down margarita it's a frozen margarita with a shot of Grand Marnier on top. We just enjoyed some laughs and chill vibes. We even walked along the harbor bank after we ate before, we called it a night and headed home. So Rockwall sits on the banks of Lake Ray Hubbard, which I mentioned before, it's one of the popular lakes around Dallas, right? Probably one of the easiest to get to. They really did a nice job of building the whole community around that lake. Kind of with other lake towns, it's more like people have lake houses and second homes. And then outside of that, there isn't much as far as shops, restaurants, and communities, right? But the way they designed Rockwall is pretty much a very established town that just sits on a lake. There's going to be areas that you can go and dock your boat. They have different themes like Christmas and ice skating rinks over there. It's just a really family-friendly environment that anybody would love to be a part of, quite frankly. Now, Rockwall is going to attract a really diverse range of families, including young professionals, growing families, retirees as well. There's about 54,000 people that live over here in that area, and the crime rate is really, really low. This suburb is going to have that real community vibe, quality schools, and a lot of just recreational opportunities that make it really appealing for those seeking more of that suburban type of lifestyle, with still some access to downtown Dallas and a little bit more in terms of restaurants, bars, and that sort of thing. Now, the people that live here are doing relatively well for themselves. I think the median income here is going to be anywhere from $110 to like $125 a year. That's going to be slightly over the average income here in Texas, which is probably like $75K a year. Like I said, I think that comes from the fact that a lot of people that live over here in Rockwall have lived here for some time, right? There's a lot of established neighborhoods. I'm going to say like 60 to 65% of the neighborhoods are established, right? And then the other 35% is going to be the new construction options. And this also reflects in the median home prices of the homes over here. In 2024, the median home price was ranging around $490K. And Rockwall will offer you a variety of options. You'll have single family homes, you'll get townhouses. They have some new construction properties as well. You may even be able to find a condo or two. This is one of the areas that has definitely seen a substantial amount of appreciation over the past decade, which really makes it, a really attractive market for both homeowners and investors. Another reason why a lot of people like to move to Rockwall is going to be because they have a great school district. Now, niche.com gave them an A in all categories, right? The student-teacher ratio is like 17 to 1 over here, and their test scores were on the higher end of the ratings as well. Now, some of the newer communities over here are going to be, Sonoma Verde, which they have a lot of great builders over there. Grand Homes, they have a couple communities on the northern side as well over here, which if you've never been inside a Grand Home, they are some showstoppers. But overall, this is a really good option for that 500 to 700K budget range. Good schools, quiet neighborhoods, and a lot of dining and shopping options as well. So now we're going to talk about Mesquite, which is really, I like to call it like a little bit of an extension of Dallas, right? So you have a couple of areas that is like just an extension. Mesquite kind of comes in, it's one of the suburbs that I say is probably the closest to Dallas outside of Grand Prairie, which is going to be on this side. Irving too, probably. And then maybe Addison as well. I think Richardson is kind of close, but I'd say Mesquite is going to be your quickest, especially with the highway access, because you have multiple ones here. So Mesquite is a pretty large, it's not crazy large, but it's kind of large. Again, this is going to be an area that's going to be a little bit more affordable for people. But again, you're going to have a lot of older real estate coming through here. And there is some new construction stuff that's going to be down here on the south side, but most of this up here is going to be older. You're going to have more like check cashing places in this area. You're going to have more, mom and pop stores. They have some taquerias, you know what I mean? They have all that. They have a really banging Fuel City over here. If you've never been to Fuel City in Dallas, you might want to try that when you get here, because gas station tacos are like the best. I'm just going to be honest with you. So we're talking about getting down to downtown Dallas from Mesquite, right? 21 minutes, and that's with a little bit of traffic. So again, you're in the heart of the city, and you can be living here in Mesquite. They have some nice little condos and few townhomes that they're building over in this area. Really nice stuff. So a lot of people that we've moved over there, they were a little bit younger. They were kind of looking to be still in the mix. They wanted to be able to get to downtown quickly without having to have like a super long commute. And that's kind of where they chose to land. So getting over to the airport, right, you have a couple of ways. You can do 635. You want to go to Love Field. The most efficient route is going to be coming through 30. But again, that's taking you 39 minutes, especially once we get down in here with traffic. They're actually taking you off of the highway here. This is going through downtown, so there's going to be a lot of stoplights. That's why that number is so big. But looks like we just had an accident here from the other places that we were just talking about. So again, that commute turns into 44 minutes, but that's where you'll be able to go to get on Southwest. Now, if we're trying to get over to DFW International, probably the best play to go would be the 635 route. This is going to take you about, 48 minutes right now, again, with the traffic. You're coming down in here, it's about 57 minutes with traffic. So again, without the traffic, this was probably more like 45 minutes. This would probably be right at 45 minutes. I'd say you could probably knock off a good 15 minutes if you didn't have the traffic, maybe even a little bit more. So just keep that in mind. 635, I said, is always going to be the beast of a highway. You'll understand that when you move in to Dallas, that no matter where you are, if you live in these areas and you're getting on 635 regularly, you're going to see a lot of cars. So to AT&T Stadium over here from Mesquite, looking like about an hour with traffic because we're going straight through there. You can do 20 here. This might be a little bit more efficient, probably a little bit smoother of a ride. It looks like it's going to be a little bit longer, 41 miles as opposed to 31. So you're traveling 10 more miles, but again, it'll be a little more efficient, not having to go through this Metroplex downtown. So keep that in mind, coming over to the Cowboy Stadium, coming to watch the Rangers game, or just going to hang out on the weekend. We have a lot of college games that go there too. So Texas A&M and Arkansas played there a lot, but I don't know if they're actually still doing that anymore after this year. But the college games, as far as like the new playoff series, they're going to be played at AT&T Stadium. Bunch of concerts, Beyonce's been there, all kind of stuff. So now getting over to Fort Worth from Mesquite is going to take you about an hour, right? So we're looking at an hour, again, traffic, hour 7 minutes here, 51 miles. So the difference between, 15, 16 miles almost, you know what I mean? But again, if you didn't have traffic, 45 minutes, hour, that's where you're going to be sitting at. So pretty quick and easy access. Again, a lot of these areas is really like once you get on the highway, it's pretty simple to get there. It's just you're going to have a lot of people going with you over that area. Now, Mesquite is definitely known for being a diverse area with plenty of affordable housing options. You're going to have a wide range of residents that live here, including young professionals, new families starting their journey, or, some retirees as well. One of my investor clients buys a lot of homes in this area, either to fix them up or just to flip them and make them rental properties, right? She buys at least one property a year, and a few of the ones that we've been able to get her have been over in this area, right? Because the median home price in Mesquite is somewhere around $292,000 right now, which, like I said, is definitely within a reach for a lot of people. Now, there's about 150,000 people that live over in this suburb, which to me was really surprising because Mesquite, in my mind, just isn't that large. For comparison, I say Mesquite is like half the size of Frisco. And for comparison, I say the Mesquite has just as many people living in the city. The median household income in this area is going to probably be more like 70K, with homes typically being, a bit older. You're probably going to need to do some renovations, and a lot of them are going to be on the smaller side, right? You have quite a few singles and couples buying in this area who want that close proximity to Dallas, but still want something that's relatively affordable. The type of housing they have over here is going to be single family, you get townhouses, and they have some new construction options popping out throughout the city as well. I'd say the area has definitely experienced a steady appreciation, but it's not going to appreciate as fast as some of the other areas that we're going to talk about. Now, niche.com gives Mesquite ISD an overall rating of a B. Crimegrade.org gives Mesquite a C rating, which is, middle of the road in terms of the crime. Some of the popular new construction neighborhoods are going to be Solterra, which is this master plan community offering a range of single family homes with amenities such as parks. You get the walking trails and a nice community pool. You're gonna have a bunch of great builders like First Texas Homes. They have Highland Homes over there, Coventry Homes, and a few more that offer some great incentives. And we've covered quite a few on this channel. The prices in these communities range from $350 to about $600, which is really one of the reasons a lot of people choose new construction in this area because of the affordability. All right, so now we're gonna talk about Wiley, Texas, right? Wiley's gonna be right up here. It's gonna be located northeast of the city center, right? So we scroll in. So we were talking about Rockwall, we were talking about Rowlett, and then you have Wiley up here. Wiley's going to be a little bit more suburban out here, right? There's some new construction, but it's going to be a little bit more pricey. Most of these are going to be older homes, and again, this is going to be kind of like I said, it kind of reminds me of home. It's going to be more like Mississippi kind of country town. It looks like a highway, but they have stoplights on this road. But this is like the main thoroughfare coming through Wiley. Again, you'll have access to Lake Lavon up here. So a lot of people like this lake life. Lots of little houses and cottages up in here that people come to on the weekends, have a good time with the family, the friends, especially as we're starting to get a little bit colder. People have those lake cabin situations. And then you also have bits and pieces of Lake Ray Hubbard. So if you want to dock your boat, get out there on the lake, go fishing, go hunting over in this area, you can. So really, really cool area. So getting over to Dallas, Texas, a lot of this right here, this is where it's going to kind of make the time frame a little longer. So getting off of here, these little backside roads, these are going to be like one lanes and stuff like that. But once you get on the highway, you're hitting President George Bush. You're kind of skipping this traffic, coming here, a little bit of bogged down when people going up north and south, and then you come on down through to get to Dallas. So it says 39 minutes for here, 38 minutes for here, just depending. And then you can also come this northern way, come down 75, but again, 75 turns into a beast as soon as you come inside 635, and especially trying to come down to this junction point. So getting over to Dallas Love Field, looking like 46 minutes with a little bit of traffic here. You kind of have a couple of different ways. You could really come down this way and do it as well. Looks like for now, with traffic and everything, the best way would be to come over this way and come over to, I believe it's 75, hit 635, hit 35, and then you'd be at Dallas Love Field right here. So from Wiley getting over to DFW ought to be a little bit easier, right? So we're looking at 47 minutes, but it should be clear roads over here coming to catch a flight. As far as it goes, like I said, Wiley's kind of off on its own little beaten path, right? Going to be that small town vibe. And so people that are over here probably only going to the airport ever so often, maybe twice a year, going to see the family in other areas. So I don't think you'll just necessarily be the type of person that commutes to the airport a lot living up here. And then if you want to get over to Fort Worth, you're looking about an hour and 15 minutes, right? 61 miles to get over there, taking George Bush all the way to 183, and then coming on down straight to Funky Town. This one reminds me of some of the towns and cities in Mississippi, right? That small town type of feel. I feel like the people that are in Wiley have generations of family members who live out there. Collin County College has a campus out there. It's gonna have more country roads and more wide open spaces. Most of the shopping is gonna be over in like a couple of different little areas. And this is really gonna be an area for you if you like quiet, small town feels, right? You're most likely the type of person that likes outdoorsy type of things. You don't like a ton of commotion and activity going. There's gonna be an interesting mix of homes with a lot of inventory either being old or brand new. And the thing about the brand new homes is they're pretty expensive out here in this area. A lot of the affordable new construction were townhomes ranging in the mid threes up to the high fours. And the new construction single family homes, those range from the 500s up to $1 million, depending on the luxuries. And this is gonna segue us right into the median home price in this area, which is $410,000, right? And this suburb isn't even growing as fast as, let's say, Forney, like we talked about earlier. And this is why you're gonna get so much bang for your buck in Forney, because there's areas like this that are expensive that don't have nearly as much to offer. And it's still really early in Forney, so you're gonna get all that forced appreciation with everything that's coming to the town. All I know is if you watch this channel, you can't say you didn't know about Forney after the fact. Now, Wiley has a population of about 62,000 people, give or take, with the median age being around 35 years old, something like that. According to crimegrade.org, Wiley is a relatively safe place with an overall B rating. Your kids will be going to Wiley Independent School District, which received an A rating from niche.com. You know, when it comes to Wiley, I haven't had just a ton of experience out there. I've really actually only been in the city a handful of times. That's usually stopping for gas while I'm on my way to another area. You know, it reminds me of home, right? Kind of that sleepy town with a couple of different areas that a lot of people are using on the day-to-day. But they do really have some beautiful homes out there. I know they have a high school that's 5A, 6A because they place some of the other schools around the Metroplex. So if you're looking for something that has that much more relaxed type of vibe, then this one would be one I'd add to the list. All right, guys, so we're going over to Plano, Texas now. This is gonna be straight north of downtown Dallas, right? You have Dallas here, you can come up to Plano on this side, come up to Plano on this side. Plano is massive, guys, right? So I like to break it down and kind of tell you this. Plano has 3 different sides to it. So you have East Plano, right? Change the color. You'll have Central Plano, which this runs right about here off the Preston Road. And then you're gonna have West Plano, which is gonna be here, all the way here. And it's gonna encompass this side of things, right? So again, West Plano, Central, and East. Now on this side, you're gonna have more affordable homes, right? This is gonna be smaller homes, it's gonna be older homes. In this area, you're gonna have some more older homes with a smaller mixed amount of new construction popping up, but you're gonna have more established neighborhoods and you'll have the larger homes. And then on the west side is kind of where you're gonna see a lot of the new development. You're gonna see some condos, you're gonna see some luxury apartment buildings, and then some of the shops, malls, all that type of stuff is gonna be located over here. So a lot of the real estate on this side is gonna be relatively a little more expensive. All right, so getting down to Dallas from Plano is gonna be about 36, 35 minutes. Again, we got traffic on 75, so without traffic, that's probably closer to 30, maybe a little bit less, just depending of like, if you're trying to go out at night, you know, go down to Dallas, have some drinks, go and party, I guess, or do any of those sorts of things. Just meet friends, go to Clyde Warren Park downtown. You're looking at about, 30-minute commute. If we're trying to get over to Dallas Love Field, from Plano, you should be able to have a couple different routes. You can do the 635 route, come straight down, be at Dallas Love Field. You can also go 635, come down Dallas North Tollway and come straight over to Love Field off of Mockingbird. It should be Mockingbird, I believe it is. So we have Mockingbird Lane. This runs all the way to 75 that way. And then this is Dallas North Tollway, and then it runs to the airport that way, right? Now this is gonna be a single lane road, but again, you're gonna have a lot of estates type homes. Like you have some really nice homes, Highland Park Village. This is a really cool area where you'll have a lot of shopping. It's kind of like another little Rodeo Drive in there. It's really, really super nice where you get all kinds of shops and, it's like a Mediterranean type of vibe. We did on the top 10 neighborhoods of Dallas, I went through and kind of showed you this area. But again, a lot of people go there just to have a drink, go and socialize, kind of do some things. There's some good shopping, you have good restaurants. So it's really cool. I think they even have personal shoppers. So if you want to go and have somebody shop for you, you can do that if you don't have the time. So you gotta have the coins to go over there. We are talking about Plano, right? So you can come down to 75 and go to Love Field as well. But again, the quickest route would probably be either this route. You can come this route and go there. That probably might be the best as well. But again, you're gonna have tolls on that road. So DFW International going to be a lot smoother ride. Again, you're on the tollway, so it's looking like 32 minutes coming this way. You really come there, you can come here. Probably be best actually to come here. That would be about 36 minutes. Going to be the most efficient route. You come you'll come President George Bush, and then you'll hop on the 35 for a quick second, and you'll hit Sam Rayburn Tollway to bring you straight down to the airport. Now from Plano to AT&T Stadium with everything going on over there, it's looking like about 40 minutes. Again, it's clear skies, so this is the best representation of what that's going to be as far as riding down President George Bush Tollway, which we also call 161. It's going to be tolls again, but that's going to be your smoothest route. And when you move to Dallas, you're going to start to realize that you're going to value your time a little bit more than these tolls, just depending on where you're going on the regional, right? You can also do 635 and come down that way, get 83, and 635, come down that way. You can come 75 and go through Dallas. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this during rush hour or any time where it's going to be a bunch of traffic, because it's, like I said, you're going to be bogged down. By the time you get to here, you're going to be tired. And then by the time you get through here, then it's an easy move over there to Arlington. We're going over to Fort Worth, Texas from Plano. We are looking at about, I'd say, an hour, right? Again, this is George Bush coming down to 183 and then straight over there. You come downtown, hit these little intersections. You could do 183 going through there, or you can do I-30 coming straight across. But again, you're looking at about an hour to get over to Fort Worth. Now, Plano is definitely one area that me and my family spend a lot of time. I mean, this suburb pretty much has it all, right? All kinds of shops, restaurants for whatever your taste buds would desire. You're gonna get multiple parks, outdoor recreation areas. I mean, the list is pretty much endless. They even just built a new HEB out there, and the people are flocking to this area hand over fist. You know, I really like to go to the shops at Legacy. There's gonna be multiple restaurants and retail stores. You can kind of think of it like a mini Rodeo Drive. They have luxury apartment complexes above some of those retail stores. There's a beautiful high rise with $1 million condos for sale. And it's all in the same area where a lot of people in Plano and Frisco go to really hang out on the weekends. You know, we usually grab a bite to eat and then walk up and down the strip, stopping in some different retail stores. I think there's Lululemon over there. There's a Suit Supply, you know, pretty much everything you can need. Now, Plano's gonna be one of the larger suburbs, but I think it's like 290,000 people living up there currently. And the growth really isn't slowing down, even though Plano doesn't really have much room to expand. You see, the median home price in Plano right now is around $530,000 and it's steadily climbing. You're going to be able to get single family, you can get townhomes, condos, and they even have multifamily options as well, should you want to buy a duplex or a triplex. Now, the thing about Plano is, and I'm going to say about 60 to 75% of the homes there are going to be a bit older. You know, Plano was one of those original suburbs that has a lot of older real estate, more mature neighborhoods. So you're going to see homes that have been renovated or will need to be renovated to bring it up to today's taste. And you can tell this if you look at the three different areas, right? The east side is going to be smaller and older, so 1,500 square feet to 2,000 square feet. In central Plano, there'll be a little bit larger and older, 1,800 to maybe 3,000 square feet. And then on the west side, you'll have older, but you'll have some sprinkles of new construction as well. And this is going to be where the most expensive real estate is going to be located in Plano because it's so close to the tollway, which gives you access to all the amenities, all the shops, and all the job opportunities in this area. Now, another reason people choose Plano over a lot of other places is the crime is relatively low and the schools are rated high. You know, the Plano ISD has an A rating from niche.com with the 30th best school district in Texas out of almost 900 school districts. Some of the most popular neighborhoods in Plano are going to be Willow Bend, which you also have the Willow Bend Mall over there. You're gonna get Kings Ridge. They have some multi-level new construction homes over there in Collin Creek, right? So if you're looking for an area with all the accolades, this may be one that you put on your list as well. All right, so Frisco, Texas is gonna be straight north from downtown Dallas, guys. Frisco is the area that everybody knows about, everybody loves, everybody wants to live in, but you gotta have those coins to live there, right? Really cool area. Lots of new construction up here, but it's really, really pricey. So it's not cheap to live up here, all things considered. And now if you're moving from somewhere else, you know, some of these other high earning areas like Los Angeles, New York, well, so a lot of our clients are from Chicago as well. Not gonna be as bad for them, right? But we say it's expensive because for locals, you know, you gotta make a pretty penny to live out here, right? So let's see here. Yeah, Frisco's gonna have everything that you could want as far as nightlife, shopping. You wanna be in the mix a little bit, but don't wanna travel all the way to Dallas. Frisco will have everything that you can need. So if you're living in Frisco, it's gonna be about 43 minutes to get down to downtown Dallas. So without traffic, probably 35, 40 minutes. But again, if you're living up here or some of these areas, Frisco really becomes your downtown area. You're not gonna be coming down here. The farthest you may even come is probably going to be Addison, which is going to be right here, right? Addison has a bunch of shops, some things to do nightlife wise, some other stuff around here, but most of these areas are feeding into Frisco because that's going to be their place that they actually go out and have a good time. Now, if you're trying to catch a flight to Southwest, go to Dallas Love Field. Again, your main way is going to be straight down Dallas North Tollway. We'll hit Mockingbird and come over to Dallas Love Field. You can also come over to 635, come down 35 and go that way. Sam Rayburn, 35, and you'll be down here. 38 minutes that way, 43 minutes that way, just depending. Like I said, traffic's starting to pick up. It's almost 3 o'clock here. So that's what you can expect time-wise to Love Field. Getting over to Dallas Fort Worth International should be a little bit easier. So again, that even cuts the time down to 37 minutes, even though it's a little bit farther. So again, Sam Rayburn will take you all the way to the airport. And like I said, you should be there 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that. So if you want to go watch the Cowboys play, which a lot of people who live in Frisco usually do, you can come down here. I would say take Rayburn and kind of come straight down. There is a lot of traffic coming through here. You can also come President George Bush might be the most efficient route, 44 minutes there, and that's kind of a better representation of how long it would take. So you're looking at about 45 minutes to an hour to get from Frisco, AT&T Stadium, Ranger Stadium, all of those. And then getting over to Fort Worth from Frisco, you're looking at about an hour, maybe a little bit more, just depending. Got a little bit of crash here. Coming down, you can hit George Bush, come over on 183, and then down into Fort Worth. Or you can take Sam Rayburn, kind of do the same thing and come into Fort Worth. There's a couple different ways you can do it, but those are probably going to be your most efficient routes.
Now, when we're talking about the most popular suburb in the entire Metroplex, there's never any arguments to be had. Frisco takes the cake. Look, if you want great schools, check. Frisco has an A+ rating. It's the 12th best school district in the state. It's the 23rd best school district for athletes, and it's one of the best ones for teachers to find employment. They have the top ACT and SAT scores year over year, and it's one of the main reasons families choose to move to the north side. Let's say you want to be around good shopping and a plethora of things to do with the fam, check. Frisco has so many options to choose from. If you're indecisive, it's really going to be a challenge for you. You know, we recently went over there to Grandscape, which is this cool new development right off the tollway. You know, Nebraska Furniture Mart is over there, which is like, just say the Costco of furniture stores. There's a number of different restaurants, bars, and retail stores over there. We actually took some time and went to this new little place called Cosm, which is basically like that Sphere thing in Vegas, right? You know, we watched the Cowboys play on the giant screen that really makes you feel like you're on the sideline, quite frankly. Like, you know, they have sections reserved and open seating, great food, and they even have a rooftop balcony overlooking the whole area. You know, Frisco has something that I didn't even know existed, right? Have you ever heard of a video game museum? Yeah, me either, until I stepped into a time machine when I walked through these doors, right? This place has it all, going back to the very beginning, right? We're talking about Atari, we're talking about Defender, Mortal Kombat, and Call of Duty. What these guys have been able to create here transcends time, right? Now, don't get me started because I can geek out on some good video games, but just understand Frisco has some elements to it that other cities just can't compete with. Now, if you're more on the sports side and you want to get into some sports in Frisco, they have our professional soccer team up there. We're FC Dallas. Frisco is headquarters for the Dallas Stars, our professional hockey team. We even have a minor league baseball team, the Frisco Rough Riders. The Dallas Mavericks have a G League team up there, the Texas Legends that play up there. And then don't even get me started with the Star. You know, Jerry Jones really outdid himself with this area. He built the Cowboys practice facility here with the outdoor practice fields. They have an indoor practice field where you can go and actually watch the Cowboys practice. And trust me, they need a lot of it. They even host high school football playoff games in this arena. There's shops and restaurants connected to the whole area. They have multiple high rises with condos for sale or for lease. They have a state-of-the-art gym called Cowboys Fit. Let's just say Frisco is the gold standard when we're talking about the DFW suburbs. You know, we were over at the Star probably a couple weeks ago to watch the Cowboys play, right? They have a turf field right outside the practice center that they have this really big jumbotron you can watch the games on. You know, the kids, they're gonna run around, play football on the turf. You can bring lawn chairs and blankets to just sit out and just enjoy the weather. Now, switching over to real estate, the median home price in Frisco is gonna be about $660K, right? And like I said, that's just gonna let you know you're gonna have those coins to live here. A lot of professionals live over here, CEOs, business owners, they all call Frisco home. You know, you have a multitude of corporate headquarters that are located up here. A lot of the Cowboys players live up here as well because it's so close to work. Now look, I'm not gonna name drop or anything, but a few of my football buddies live up here as well. And a couple of my clients have met them because they moved into the same neighborhood. I definitely got a few referrals out of that one. Now, the median household income up here is going to be about $150,000, which is going to be, you know, slightly higher than the national average. But again, it's just showing that this is an affluent area. Now, when it comes to the real estate options, you'll have different strokes for different folks, right? Like I said, if you want a high-rise condo with luxury views, upscale amenities, a private doorman with all the bells and whistles included, they have that available. If you want a chateau sitting on an acre of land or more with custom finishes, high ceilings, gated neighborhoods for peace and privacy, it's available. You know, there are some affordable options ranging in the $500K, but you have to manage expectations, guys. Most of our clients that are moving to Texas are moving because of the new construction, better prices, larger homes that they can really start fresh and then build for their family for the future. But when we're talking about Frisco and some of these other northern suburbs, you just don't get as much bang for your buck as you do in other areas. It's definitely a trade-off. Now, some of the neighborhoods that come to mind that I'm gonna think of are gonna be the Fields at Frisco, which is one of the newest developments that is coming to the Frisco area. You're gonna have spectacular homes and the future is looking very bright for that subdivision. You'll have the Grove, which is going to be another master plan community offering, a range of single families with amenities such as parks, walking trails, and community pools. Look, guys, the moral of the story is Frisco offers a desirable living environment, a strong economy, excellent schools, and diverse housing options, which makes it a top choice, for families and professionals living and moving to the Dallas area.
All right, so Richardson, Texas is pretty much northeast of Dallas. It's one of these areas that I think is, from a proximity standpoint, really, really great. It's probably somewhere that you'll really enjoy and like, because Richardson it's often into its own a little bit. It's kind of like it's a suburb, but it's kind of has that Dallas city feel. You can probably still see the skyline, all of that. Again, it's pretty nice size. It's going to be a little bit older as far as real estate goes, not a whole bunch of new construction. You will see a lot of renovated houses up here though. So especially on this side, so this is going to be a little bit more established. Have a couple of nice parks. They have a little place called City Line. We're going to talk about that in just a second. You can get over here to Galleria Mall really quickly, efficiently. Like I said, Richardson is also a nice little area. You got Texas Instruments up here. We'll talk about that in just a second. So from Richardson to downtown Dallas is going to be, it's 30 minutes with a heck of a lot of traffic. It's only 13 miles away. So without traffic, we're looking about 15 minutes from Richardson to get into the heart of downtown if you didn't have traffic. But again, 75, guys, is a monster. So you have to understand that 75, especially during traffic times, it's just starting to pick up. And this is the early traffic time. So this is going to be all red coming through here in just a second. And this could be it could be a good 45 minutes to get to downtown. Now we'll go over to Dallas Love Field. Looking like 25 minutes to get the Love over here, going 635 coming down. Again, if you come this way, it's probably going to be a little bit longer. So this is probably going to be your most efficient route coming to Love, or you can come here down Dallas North Tollway across Mockingbird, and you're right there at the airport. All right, so now going from Richardson over to DFW International, right about 30 minutes. Again, this is a pretty smooth ride right here, because again, most of your traffic is going to be in this area. You'll have a little bit over here as people get ready to get on 35 and go that way. Once you get on this side of it, it's pretty smooth. You can go that way, you can come down and come up. But again, you're looking at about 30 minutes, 21 miles without traffic, probably get that down to 25. All right, going up here, going to AT&T Stadium, looking at about 36 minutes with traffic. So again, probably closer to 30 minutes if you didn't have the traffic. A smooth little ride over there. And again, we talk about some of these other areas as well, like Richardson, getting over to Addison is probably 15 minutes, getting over up here to Plano, 15 minutes, getting over to Frisco, probably more like 20, 25 minutes. If you're in Plano up here, getting over to Frisco, 15, 20 minutes. Coming from Plano, we did all to Dallas. And again, I'm just trying to talk about some of these other suburbs, from suburb to suburb, what it would be like getting over there. There's a lot of people work in these northern areas, especially where some of these companies are building their headquarters. So getting from Richardson to Fort Worth, again, about an hour, right? Not that much traffic except through here. You're coming around, we're on 635, come down to 183 and straight to the heart of Fort Worth, funky town. And then they do have a train that goes from Fort Worth to Dallas. It's about an hour and 34 minutes if you wanted public transportation. So just keep that in mind as far as making that commute.
Now, Richardson is known for being a really established suburb with a really diverse cultural background. Look, the average price of a home over here is going to be about $455,000. Like I said, it's gonna be older properties for the most part. I've seen a ton of renovated homes over here, both one-story ranches and large two-story traditionals. And there have been a few areas that have popped up with new retail space, such as City Line. This is gonna be this mixed-use development offering modern townhomes and apartments with all the amenities, such as parks, retail shops, and a lot of restaurants. It's what I like to call the new Richardson. A lot of young professionals live over in this area. I know there's a couple of corporate headquarters over here. State Farm has a tower over here. There's a co-working space called Common Desk that's located over here as well. They're building, I think, 3 brand new office towers that are going to be totaling 1.4 million square feet. So there's a lot happening in this little area. Another notable company over here is going to be Texas Instruments, which they have a literal compound. I drove onto their campus one time and it felt like you were on a movie set with, different buildings, one-way roads, you had security check-ins, the works. Now, as far as new construction homes, it's going to be relatively limited, right? Richardson isn't really known for new construction, and if you do find it, it's usually because somebody tore down the old house and started from scratch. These new construction homes are going to be a bit pricey because of the area and the great location. So the population over here in Richardson is going to be about 117,000 people. You're still within close proximity to Plano, which is really a fan favorite, and you're just a quick highway ride down to downtown Dallas, although traffic tends to be a bit congested in this area. You know, one thing I will say about Richardson over a lot of the other suburbs is Richardson has prime access to the DART rail system. So if you need public transit from, you know, downtown or around here in Dallas, Richardson has probably the most access points from the public transportation standpoint. You know, I really wouldn't call it walkable, but it's definitely going to be much more dense and closer to things than some of the other suburbs that are more spread out. From a crime perspective and just safety in general, Richardson is getting a B rating from crimegrade.org, which is indicating that the city is relatively safe for, you know, a community and its residents. And then lastly, from an education standpoint, Richardson ISD is earning an A rating from niche.com. You know, this district ranks number 30 out of the districts in the state of Texas, which really reflects a consistent, strong, and quality education.
All right, so now we're going to Allen, Texas, guys. This is going to be a little bit north of Plano. This is going to be one of those northern suburbs that really not a lot of people know about. Allen right here. So Allen, really nice suburb, man. Really quaint. Still has, you know, all the shops, all the restaurants, everything that you would need. It's self-sustained, honestly. It has, you know, little outdoor outlet malls, another little area called the Village that's really, really cool as well. We're going to actually go over there and do some do a vlog style tour. I know you guys really dig that when I go out and into the community and do the vlog style and really show you what we're talking about. Like I said, this is just going to be a high level overview so you can understand where they are in reference to where Dallas is, in reference to the main areas that you probably know about not being from Dallas. And then I'll go into more depth in future videos. So Allen's up here. Like I said, outlets. It's a really cool suburban. So it's going to be a little bit more established. It has some new construction as well, but mostly it's going to be a little bit older. But you have some really nice sized houses, some gated communities that are really nice as well. So Allen's a really good one to look into whenever you're thinking about moving to Dallas. So let's see how far Allen is from downtown Dallas. So again, right off of 75 splits it right in half. You got your traffic here coming down. And as soon as you get past 635, traffic again. So we're looking at about an hour. Probably without that, you're like 35 minutes to get to downtown Dallas. Got a couple of different routes. Dallas North Tollway kind of gives you a little bit of a little smoother ride, but again, it makes it a little bit of a longer ride as well. So if you're trying to get to Dallas Love Field up from Allen, going to Southwest to fly out, you're coming down. It's looking like about 42 minutes without traffic, probably closer to 35 minutes. If you're coming down straight this way and going up, it's going to be a monstrosity. So again, giving you the best route, 75, 635. Come down 35, and then you're at Dallas Love Field. And then getting over to DFW International, your best route is going to be to hop on Sam Rayburn Tollway. Again, 41 minutes. This is going to be smooth sailing all the way to the airport. You can come down this way. Again, you're going to deal with a little traffic right here once you hit kind of this Plano area, right? And then you're going to come over here. This is going to be President George Bush, and that's going to take you there in about 42 minutes. So usually when people will come here, they'll kind of get over this Carrollton area, come up to 35, get on Sam Rayburn and come on down to the airport. Now, if you're trying to get on down to watch the Cowboys play, you're probably looking at about 45 minutes, right? Like I said, it's pretty clear except for this little area. You're gonna have the traffic. You can come through downtown. That's looking like an hour and 15 minutes coming that way. But again, you have some loops. And again, you're gonna be paying tolls on this road, right? All the way down to the AT&T in the entertainment district. And if you're trying to get over to Fort Worth, we're looking at about an hour, right? Probably gonna be standard. Again, getting over here to Fort Worth from Allen. If you're trying to get from Allen to Frisco, probably 20 minutes. Allen to McKinney, 10, 15 minutes, right? You still have access. You can come over here to some of these lakes and everything, but looking at these relative to your time frames, we'll just keep that in mind whenever you're thinking about which area you want to move to. You got to think about where your job's going to be. If you're living in Allen and your job's in Frisco, how long that's going to take. If you're planning on if your job's going to be inside the circle, understand that your commute is going to be a little crazy too.
Now, Allen is about half the size of Plano, but it really gives you that same type of vibe, right? It's going to be a tighter knit community, really chill, really relaxed. So if you're looking for that true quaint and quiet neighborhood, Allen really provides all of that. The median home price in this area is about $492,000, which that number has really accelerated over the last few years. I want to say it was closer to like $350 back in 2021. So this area has seen a lot of price appreciation. You know, last time I was out there, we headed over to the Allen outlet malls. This is this cool outdoor mall that's really massive, guys. You're gonna have tons of shops ranging from more affordable ones, some very recognizable ones like H&M, Tory Burch, Adidas. It's definitely a spot that a lot of people go to for that last minute shopping, either for Christmas or for whatever type of special occasion you need an outfit for. Now, there's a few areas like this around Allen with different shops. You're gonna get retail and mixed-use developments. So from a shopping category, you're definitely going to be on the higher end as far as the grade scale. Now, as far as the communities go, you'll have homes that range from, smaller 3-bed, 2 baths, maybe 1,400 square feet, all the way up to $1 million estates and gated communities that really put an emphasis on privacy. As far as the new construction goes, there'll be some options up here, although I say there's probably more options from the older standpoint, but they do have a lot of larger properties that can definitely fit a family looking to grow or to settle down. Now, the population of Allen right now, probably 110,000 people, and the type of people that are attracted to this suburb is going to be families, professionals, and those who really want, more of that low-key type of lifestyle. Now, the one thing I found extremely interesting, especially with the size of this city in Allen, is that Allen only has one high school, which, most of our suburbs have multiple high schools, even some that are smaller than Allen, right? Now, what that does though is it makes it a very competitive environment, especially when we're talking about on the sports side of things and in academics as well. They have a super nice football stadium and their facilities are really set up like a college campus. Now, from a ranking standpoint, Allen ISD gets an A+ from niche.com, which is one of the reasons it's so desirable, especially if you have kids that you're looking to get into a great education. Now, before I moved to Dallas, I really started doing my research about the Metroplex. Allen was definitely a contender in where we were thinking about moving as a family. And if you want more information about more suburbs, we did the second part of this video and you can check that out right there.